Adolis Garcia is out of the lineup tonight when the Texas Rangers take on Arizona in Game 4 of the World Series. Texas manager Bruce Bochy said Garcia has a moderate strain of his left oblique after getting hurt in last night's Game 3. The slugger is hitting a team-high .323 this postseason with 8 homers and a major league record 22 RBI. Garcia could be out for the rest of the World Series, along with pitcher Max Scherzer, who has a muscle spasm in the right side of his back. And within an hour of the game getting underway, the Rangers removed Garcia and Scherzer from the World Series roster. Ezekiel Duran and Brock Burke have been added. Now, Game 4 is looking to be a bullpen game for both teams, as lefty Andrew Heaney will start for the Rangers, and the D-backs will counter with left-hander Joe Mantiply. First pitch is at 7:03, and of course, Texas leads the series 2-1. The San Antonio Spurs are in Phoenix tonight for the first of 2 back-to-back games against the Suns. In recent years, the Suns have had the Spurs number, winning the last 9 matchups against San Antonio, but 3 of the last 6 have been decided by 5 points or less. The first step for the Spurs tonight against Phoenix, who will be without Devin Booker or Bradley Beal, will be limiting turnovers after they compiled 25 in Sunday's loss to the Clippers.
I mean, I would say it feels like a little bit of a playoff game, you know, being able to play like 2 games in a row. You know, I think it's going to be a good challenge for us. You know, we're a very young and talented team, but I think that we can compete in this league with everybody. We just have to, you know, be ready physically and mentally, and I think that we can do it.
You know, we're still learning, you know, how to play with one another and what to do in different spots. So, I mean, I guess we'll see just how it kind of plays out and how everyone slides into the roles. We're trying to just, you know, play the same, kind of trying to do what we do best and let the rest take care of itself.
Turning the conversation over now to college football. UTSA went a perfect 4-0 in the month of October, but the grueling stretch of November is where you can gain real credibility. This Saturday, the 5-3 Roadrunners will face 3-5 North Texas. Now, historically, UTSA has suffered some surprising and lopsided losses when playing in Denton.
It wasn't a good performance at all, and we've been reminded of that thoroughly. I've been reminded of that thoroughly. It's never really left my mind, so, you know, we're going up there with a chip on our shoulder to try and erase that bad taste in our mouths.
I don't even know why we lost so many times there, but Coach Redick is bringing that up to us, and, you know, just try to go out there, you know, this week and not come back with that feeling.
The Mean Green host kickoff at 2 p.m. this Saturday, and you can watch that one on ESPN+.
Always a good game between North Texas and UTSA.
Yeah, how about that?
I know. Who would have thought? Thanks, Mary. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about a heartfelt tribute at Hemisphere after the break. Tomorrow is Dia de los Muertos. It's a time for friends and families to remember loved ones who have passed away. Sarah Acosta met with the Garcia family, who says the story of their loved ones they will be honoring lives on in the kitchen.
Honestly, I don't know if I could even put it in words. And I think that's why I choose to do it physically.
My name is Adrian Garcia.
My name is Diana Garcia, and we're a husband and wife artist duo.
When we did the first altar, it was really just to kind of get her out there, the story. Then that year ended, we were asked to come back on an invitation, and at that point, you know, we started kind of collaborating then. That's kind of where it started. This wall takes shape when we put the walls on.
When it came time to think how we wanted to celebrate my mother and his grandmothers, we wanted to be able to take a tradition that we cherish so deeply since we were children, and specifically for me was a tamalada. I vividly would remember my mother and my aunts, you know, putting together this big tamale making party, and it's an experience for those who've never done it before, and it's a labor of love, but we wanted to be able to create an immersive experience where somebody could walk into Abuelita's kitchen and and feel as if they just arrived in time to help.
You'll see some nostalgia of things that you would probably find in your grandmother's home. So obviously some outdated, the wall phone, we even have one of those.
You can't depict grandma's or abuelita's home without the screen door. So the slamming of the door, either you're in or you're out. So I think that is a fun little detail that I'm sure a lot of our visitors are going to get such a kick out of it. We as a culture can take something that could be considered so dark and obviously very sad, but celebrate it and understand that life doesn't have to necessarily end once she or he is gone. And that's something that was very important to me to teach my children, that although grandma was gone, she's still here, she's still, you know, doing what she did in life, just on the other side. And that's what makes these immersive installations so fun.
So we can hold that for the countertop.
Shelves, yeah. They're still cooking in the kitchen. They're still talking and telling chisme, and they're literally waiting for the next person to arrive so that they can serve them a plate of food.
They were very strong women. They were excellent cooks. I always knew every time I'd get there or go to either one of their houses, there was always something to eat ready. Between the both of them, they made the best tortillas ever. You know, they were just very amazing women. Very resilient, you know, stubborn too. But I mean, and they were just so amazing that they impacted my life and created, you know, part of who I am today.
All that she's taught me and all the beautiful lessons that I've learned, and that now I'm getting to teach my own daughters. So I'm grateful and thankful that I'm able to create an altar and connect with her every time and connect with my community as well.
Sarah Costa, KSAT12 News.
Grandmothers teach great lessons. By the way, I saw that altar last weekend. You walk through, it had, of course, the tamalada, but it was also, they had sayings that their grandmothers used to say. It was great. If you missed Muertos Fest last weekend, we've got you covered. Tomorrow night, right here on KSAT 12, we're going to be airing our Dia de los Muertos special starting at 8 p.m. We're going to show you all the sights and sounds from Muertos Fest. You can watch it on air or any way you stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. To other news here at 6, new data from the Labor Department shows paychecks in the U.S. grew faster than expected in the third quarter this year. The Employment Cost Index, a broad measure of total compensation paid to American workers, rose 1.1% last quarter. That's a faster pace than the 1% gain registered in the second quarter year over year. Wages and benefits grew 4.3% in the third quarter, a slower pace than the second quarter's 4.5%. The third quarter compensation increases illustrate ongoing momentum in the job market. That's what economists say. Home prices rose again in August, according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index. Prices up 0.9% from July. That marks the 7th consecutive month of increases. The data also shows prices increased 2.6% from a year ago. This comes as a historically low inventory continues to push up the prices of homes. President Joe Biden targeting financial advisors in his latest crackdown on junk fees. The administration says a new rule will help Americans save money and expand on previous consumer advocacy steps the president has already taken. This as polls show Biden still struggling to win over voters on his handling of the economy. ABC's M. Wynn has more from Washington.
President Joe Biden unveiling new efforts to crack down on junk fees, this time for retirement accounts.
These junk fees may not matter to the wealthy, but they sure matter to working folks in homes like the one I grew up in.
The Labor Department proposing a rule that would raise the bar for financial planners who give advice to Americans on 401k plans and other retirement accounts. The rule tackling retirement savings seeks to close loopholes that allow advisors to recommend investments that aren't in the best interest of their client in order to secure a higher commission. The White House estimates those conflicts of interest can cost Americans as much as 20% of their savings over a lifetime, and argues the new rule could save tens of billions of dollars.
I'm proud to announce that my administration has taken our most comprehensive action ever to eliminate junk fees.
The economy top of mind for most Americans as the president ramps up his 2024 re-election campaign. Earlier this month, the administration put pressure on several industries, from concert tickets to hotel hotel rooms to fully disclose their fees to consumers up front. If that ban goes into effect, companies charging junk fees could also be fined and even forced to pay customers back. The latest data shows the U.S.'s GDP grew nearly 5% last quarter, better than expected, with unemployment at record lows and wages up over the last year. Despite that, inflation remains stubbornly high, and the president continues to face low approval ratings for his handling of the economy.
The new proposals are part of the administration's economic plan dubbed Bidenomics. Officials have yet to give any guidance as to when the changes could take effect. Emlyn, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up next, new body camera video shows a dramatic rescue during those wildfires in Maui. A look at how a police officer rescued more than a dozen people trapped in a coffee shop. Next. A dramatic body camera video from the day of the deadly Lahaina wildfires has been released by Maui police. The tense moment showed the scenes before the wildfires destroyed the historic town of Lahaina that killed at least 99 people, burned more than 2,000 structures. ABC's Melissa Adon with the video and the details.
Maui police officers going door to door evacuating people and elderly from their homes while smoke and fire surrounded them. The Maui Police Department releasing 16 minutes of body camera video from the deadly August 8th wildfire.
You gotta go!
Depicting the dramatic moments amid the deadly blaze that killed at least 99 people. Fires engulfing homes, officers breaking down a cattle gate, even using garden hoses in a desperate attempt to slow the flames to allow for more people to evacuate. Tense evacuations captured along Front Street, where a group of people sheltered inside a coffee shop, leaving behind historic Front Street that was decimated. The Maui police chief commending his officers, 11 from Lahaina, lost everything.
You saw officers saving lives. We are sorry for all those who suffered and lost.
The video released during a news conference. The police chief says he wanted to provide some context ahead of the 20 hours of footage released in compliance with the public records request. While the cause of the fire is still under investigation, there's evidence it could have been sparked by downed power lines, which ignited the dry grass. Officers heard talking about the power lines blocking roads.
Multiple power lines are down. I was told they're blocking.
The Maui police chief says the department is working on an after-action review. That's a report of what went right, what went wrong, and how they can improve. That's expected to be completed within the next 2 years. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, there are a lot of mini ghouls and goblins that are out at this hour as the sun's about to set. 58 degrees. Hope a lot of them are bundled up.
I hope so, too, because it's quickly going to get chilly here. Right now, it doesn't feel all that bad out there. But
yeah, maybe the little ghost should put 2 sheets on instead of 1.
Woo, good idea there, Steve. Okay, yeah, temperatures are quickly going to fall tonight. That will lead to a first freeze in the hill country, but we will warm up by this weekend. I'll show you which neighborhoods are most at risk for that light freeze. And when does San Antonio typically see its first freeze? Is this normal? Details coming up.
All right, I'm getting a lot of pictures from friends. It seems like Barbie and Ken are a popular Halloween costume, but a friend of mine just sent me, Sarah, he's going as Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh my gosh,
it was really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, fun fact about Teddy Roosevelt, because your girl knows a lot about presidents.
Okay.
Teddy Roosevelt famously had a tenor voice rather than a deep voice, but in a lot of movies and stuff, you see him portrayed as having a really deep voice.
Interesting.
Fun fact, Halloween fact for you tonight. I've also seen a lot of people dressing up as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment on that one. I'm a huge Chiefs fan, so.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing bad about that.
Okay, all right.
It's just
okay.
a little controversial for some folks. I'm a big Travis Kelce fan, big Chiefs fan, and hey, I like Taylor Swift as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk though about forecast. The temperature is quickly going to fall tonight. We got up to 61 degrees today, but we're already in the low 50s, and temperatures will be falling into the 40s in the evening here. Quickly, by tomorrow morning, we'll be in the 30s for the morning low. Temperatures are going to be climbing tomorrow, though, quickly. So the light freeze will be very brief in San Antonio. We're expecting things to stay a little bit warmer than freezing here. We're going to be at 36 degrees early tomorrow morning. But you take a look up toward Bernie, Bandera, Bulverde, Comfort, Kerrville, areas north of this pink line, likely going to see a very light freeze early tomorrow morning. Let's go ahead and zoom in some of those neighborhoods, even in North Bexar County. Areas like Fair Oaks Ranch, Leon Springs, Gray Forest, Timberwood Park, in Bulverde up along 281 there. It would be a good idea to cover or bring in any kind of sensitive vegetation if you are out in those areas. Is this normal for this time of year? Well, yeah, not too far off. The average first freeze for parts of the hill country is today through about November 6th. Again, here in San Antonio, we're not expecting a freeze early tomorrow morning. And so we will be looking, our average first freeze is closer to the end of November. Again, it's just those neighborhoods in northern San Antonio, Bexar County rather, that could see that first freeze early tomorrow morning. Our earliest first freeze, October 30th of 1917. Some more fun facts for you during this forecast. Okay, looking at low temperatures over the next few days. Tomorrow, we're going to be in the 30s, and on Thursday, we'll be in the 30s as well. So 2 more mornings of chilly weather, but then by Friday and Saturday, our morning lows will be back into the 50s and 60s. Here's a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Temperatures are going to be quickly climbing under sunny skies. 54 by noon, and then in the afternoon we'll be climbing to about 63 tomorrow afternoon. One thing that's going to be different tomorrow too, we're not going to have as windy of conditions. Winds will be from the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Neighborhood highs 60 in Kerrville, 60 in New Braunfels, 62 in Hondo, 64 in Del Rio, 64 in Cotulla, and 64 in Beeville. Quick look at the weather setup across the nation. Fairly quiet across the Rockies here. That's where we've got that high pressure system, which is helping to make things nice and sunny and dry for us. It's also bringing in that colder air from the north. Now, this high pressure system is gradually going to take its cold air and push it off to the east. And so in our forecast, we're going to be looking at a gradual warm up. 67 by Thursday, 74 by Friday, back into the 80s over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. 81 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday. Don't forget, set those clocks back an hour. It's one of my favorite times of the year, working the weekend mornings. I get an extra hour of sleep.
An extra hour to be here. I like that. Thanks, Sarah. We'll be right back. A trial date has been set for one of the people accused of killing a 5-year-old boy. Daniel Garcia, accused of killing Dominic Aguilar Acevedo in San Antonio, then dumping the child's body in a Colorado ravine. The trial scheduled to start May 3rd. The boy's mother, Nicole Aguilar, also charged in this case. Tonight, we know the names of the 2 people shot and killed at a house party over the weekend. 40-year-old Marvin Medrano and 30-year-old Jennifer Collin were killed after police say Raul Trevino III opened fire at that party. Trevino arrested yesterday. He's charged with capital murder. Tonight, San Antonio police are looking for the driver who hit and killed a man late last night. It happened on Highway 90 near Acme Road. Officers say that man was walking along the solid white line on the road shoulder when he was hit. The victim has not been identified. That's your 60-second recap. Later this week here on the News at 6, Doc Talk, our new series featuring your medical questions. Any subject. Just scan this QR code to let us know what questions you want answered by local doctors, and we'll ask them. KSAT 12's Doc Talk airs Thursdays at 6:30. Before we go, check this out. The coastal community of Morro Bay, California got in the Halloween spirit Sunday. The costumes of choice, witches and warlocks. They ditched the traditional witches' brooms, though, for paddle boards and kayaks. The annual event is free and open to whoever would like to participate or just watch. The Witches Paddle started in 2013 as a birthday celebration with a group of about 20 people. It's now grown into an event that, as you can see, attracts hundreds of people.
All right, here's a look at the forecast. Early tomorrow morning, a light freeze possible in Bernie, Bulverde, Rio Medina, areas north of that pink line, Comfort, Kerrville, Bandera, and Los Maples. In San Antonio proper, though, it should stay above freezing. But again, if you're north of that pink line, please make sure to take care of that sensitive vegetation. Otherwise, temperatures are gradually going to warm. Another cold morning on Thursday morning, but 81 on Saturday and 83 on Sunday.
Have a safe and happy Halloween. We'll see you right back here on the Night Beat.